hardest to get done are the brake lines. So I'm going to start with the front brakes, then the rear brakes, and then the clutch. So I'm going to start with the front. I'm going to run it back and around along the firewall. Keep it away from the exhaust manifold as much as possible. I'll put the T in this area and then I'll run both front brake lines. The rear will pretty much be the same. Come down, over, come through the firewall over here, and then route through the trans tunnel, split over the gas tank, so on and so forth. Here we go. So here's the first mistake I already made, first piece of tubing, and it's usually how it goes. So I bent this so I could get it to fit into the T there. And with how close it has to be to the bend, I should have flared it, put the nut on it, then bend it. So this piece is kind of junk. Time to make it again. Here's one brake line run. It's to the left front, so it comes from the T over through the hole. I'll get a grommet for that. Comes through, tucked it back and away. And then here's the OEM mount, which the Willwood kit comes with. New mounts. The braided lines will run from there to the caliper, probably tie it up some to keep it safe, but okay, so that's the front brake lines complete. You can see it bends up, curves, stays far away. The exhaust comes through here, so I want to really keep heat away from the brake lines. It goes up and through, comes out, tucked it again close to the frame. Keep it out of the way of rocks and debris. I'll eventually make covers for it. And I got it plumbed to the caliper on the driver's side. And and again tight, and then plumbed to the caliper on the passenger side. I'm going to stick with the engine bay, and I'm going to make the brake line or the clutch line, sorry, next. Haven't exactly figured out where it'll end up. Maybe something like that. So then kind of stays out of the way of everything, easy to disconnect if I have to move the motor. I really don't want to take that apart to get a longer one to get it up to the frame rail. That would have been the best solution, but you know, I'll probably have it stop here and just come down to meet up with the clutch line. And eventually, if I have to pull the trans, I'll just buy a new line that gets it over to here. So on to the next one. Now we have the clutch line run. Once I get clamps to, or maybe even just zip ties, to clean some of this up, get them tucked together, P-clamp. You know, I went around the motor mount. There's a threaded hole right there, so I was gonna put a P-clamp right there. Just to kind of keep it out of the way, very accessible if you gotta pull the motor. This is the part I hate right here. Because obviously the motor has to come forward and that brake line's right in the way. So I will get a longer line and then splice it here, maybe up here, and then run a new stainless line. But for now, it'll work. So I was wrapping up working on all the brake lines when I remembered, oh wait, the turbo was really close to the driver's side master cylinder. So I tried to use this little hand flaring tool in attempts to save it. I definitely didn't. Ended up ruining it. So now I get to remake this line. The rear brake lines are done. Plumbed into this hole for now. I need to get a bigger step bit so then I can pinch that in there and then it will hold its place just like the normal brake clip in the wheel well. On this side, I need to make a little token or whatever you want to call it to hold that side in, tack it on. And then all I have to do, I'm going to place a couple of P-clamps to hold everything tight. Don't want anything rattling. For the ebrake, since I don't have that assembly done yet, I just terminated these two. I can get 2 more of those brake line adapters that came with the Willwood kit. I'll make a little standoff mount. Then I can just run the hard line or the braided soft line. So that's done. I'll have to get a grommet for up there, and again, P-clamp it all the way down. There'll also be a few other lines. From here, I'm gonna make a shield. I might almost actually just put this behind there. Not sure yet. So that is the braking portion done. I did mention that I was going to have to remake this line to clear the compressor housing, which now it does. Plenty of clearance and plenty far away from the exhaust. As well as all the brake lines, we're getting the caliper mounts finished up.
To test fit it, I just had a ton of washers. Once I got it to the correct spacing where the pad had an even gap to the rotor. So I machined some spacers and then welded those on. So now that fits, and it should have a nice even gap. I just need to finish the rears, then the whole braking system is complete.